The jury in the long-delayed Boulder King Soopers shooting trial could get the case as soon as tomorrow. Both sides spent today working through jury instructions. Tomorrow, those will be read to the jury before heading into closing arguments. It marks the end of what's been weeks of painful testimony for families of the 10 people killed in the store in March of 2021. And ultimately, jurors must decide if the shooter's mental state absolves him of legal responsibility. Denver7's Colette Bordelon has been in the courtroom throughout this trial. And Colette, we want to break down a few of the key points with you before this trial wraps up. And before we get to those key points, though, this has obviously been a rough 2 weeks for the families of those victims.
It's so hard to imagine. You're sitting in the same room as the person who killed your loved one. Still, though, many of them showing up day after day, some of them taking other days off. They'll all have to, though, control any emotion they might feel, too, because as the judges reminded them, they can't sway the jury in any direction. The jury, though, they've been incredibly attentive throughout this process, Jessica.
Obviously, it has taken a long time to get to this point, and the defendant had to be restored to competency during all of this time in order to get to this trial and before standing trial. But that is definitely different from sanity.
Yes, so competency and sanity, it can get a little bit confusing, but they're different things. So competency, that's only the requirement. A defendant has to help their own defense. Sanity, though, that's a legal issue. It's separate from mental illness as well, which is a clinical issue. So there's two standards for sanity in Colorado. Did the defendant know right from wrong at the time of the crime? And could they form what's called a culpable mental state? Just think of that as intent or premeditation. So the prosecution's only witness for their rebuttal was a forensic psychiatrist who's evaluated this case for a whopping $150,000. He found that the shooter met both of those standards and agreed with the two state doctors finding the shooter sane at the time of the crime.
He did not walk up to law enforcement officers, make statements to them suggesting that he believed that they were there to assist him in a mission. He did not try to greet them with open arms or anything of that nature. So he did not have any beliefs or behaviors that suggested that he believed that law enforcement would have supported his actions or viewed his actions as right. Planning is very relevant to this particular analysis because when someone is planning something out, it demonstrates that they are taking steps to achieve a certain outcome. And when you're looking at intent, that really gets to the heart of the matter.
The defense is arguing the shooter's schizophrenia was severe and untreated. And Jessica, no one is contesting that schizophrenia diagnosis.
I know a lot of people want to know, there's not been media cameras allowed in the courtroom. There's obviously that online feed showing some of the testimony. But Colette, you were in the courtroom. Be our eyes for us. How is the defendant, the shooter, behaving during all of this?
So he looks down a lot. He's really fidgety as well. And it almost appears like he's writing or drawing something. The reason I say that, I have seen him hold up a box of colored pencils at one point. He is very engaged whenever video is playing or old pictures of him are shown to the jury. And the most attention he's given to any witnesses, Jessica, are toward members of his own family as they take the stand. He's watching them closely with his eyes. Now, while on the stand, though, his father testified to believing his son was possessed by a spirit of sorts. Many family members caught contradicting themselves on the stand, specifically when it comes to whether or not they knew the defendant had guns at the house. So their testimony, obviously a chance to try and humanize the defendant, but the prosecution really poked a lot of holes during that testimony. Some of the most interesting stuff, though, from the defense, a cultural psychiatry expert that testified in Middle Eastern culture, it's often considered shameful to have a child suffering from mental illness. It could be interpreted as someone not being religious enough. The shooter's mom did seek mental health treatment when one of her siblings died. Prosecutors were quick to point that out. But the cultural psychiatrist said there are gender roles at play here, and if a son were to do the same, it might be seen differently, Jessica.
A really complicated trial, and tomorrow closings happen, and then the jury is expected to start deliberating right away.
We don't know how long they're going to deliberate for. They obviously have a lot of evidence to try and get through in this case, and just remember, 55 counts they have to decide on. So guilty equals he was sane at the time of the crime. Not guilty, it means they have found him insane for certain counts. And we'll be on verdict watch starting tomorrow afternoon.
This has been a long trial, Colette. We appreciate you being on top of this, staying there every single day and continuing to stay there until we reach a verdict. Colette, thank you so much. Denver7 has you covered on closing arguments, jury deliberations, and an eventual verdict. Find updates or get caught up on testimony on Denver7.com.